everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to put it on this little bangle that I got from Beebeecraft. First of all, in case you're not familiar, Beebeecraft is an online craft supply store. They have a lot of beads and findings and jewelry making supplies. If you have a channel and you have at least 100 subscribers, you can apply to be in their YouTube program and get products and do tutorials for them. I'll post a link in the description box below if you want to check out that program. They offer free shipping for orders over $25. Their website says the free shipping is not only for customers in the United States, but also other countries. I have a coupon code. It's Teresa10, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below. It'll save you 10% off your order if you decide you want to order. I'll put links to these little bangles in the description box below, and I'll try to find links to all these other beads and things that I'm using and put that down there too. And I'll put a link to the Beebeecraft homepage in case you just want to look around on there. I got these bangles, and at first I could not figure out how to get the little ends off of them. I thought they wouldn't come off, and I was just heartbroken because I've never been disappointed at anything I've ever got from Beebeecraft before, and I was just heartbroken thinking I had gotten something that I thought was not good quality. But it turns out I just didn't know what I was doing, which is not at all uncommon. I had a very sweet lady comment and tell me that both sides, or one side is soldered and one side is not. I've never used these before, and I just assumed that both sides came off. I don't know why, but I just thought they probably did. But she said to find the side that's not soldered, and you could take something like a rubber band and get a good grip on it and turn it counterclockwise, and the little end would come off, and it sure enough does. I tried other things. I didn't think of a rubber band, but I tried other things to try to grip it to get it off. But I didn't try a rubber band. But they will come off just fine. And this one is loose. I've already loosened it, so it's coming off and on real easy now. So I'm going to make a little bracelet and put it on this little bangle now that I have been educated on how to take the little ends off. I'm using, these are all 11-0, Miyuki 11-0s. I'm using opaque dyed pink. And this is a Duracoat opaque columbine. And this is Duracoat dyed opaque spruce. And then I have my galvanized silver 11-0s here that I use a lot. And I have my crochet hook. I'm not going to be crocheting, but I use it to put up the center of these tubular stitches when I do them to hold it and hopefully hold it steadier so y'all can see what I'm doing better. I've got a couple of size 11 tulip beading needles here. I'm only going to use one, but I use the extra one sometimes when I add thread. And then I just always have one handy in case I lose one, which happens quite often. I've got my 8-pound fire line here in smoke that I'm going to be using. And I got to thinking, y'all probably see this, and you see this 125 yards, and I don't want you to think you have to buy it in 125 yards. They sell it in, I know they sell it in 50-yard spools. I don't know if they sell it in any less spools than that. I usually get the 300-yard spool. I don't know why I got this 125-yard spool, because it's not going to last me very long. I've already got another 300-yard spool ordered because I use a lot of it. But if you don't use a lot of it like I do, you don't have to buy, of course, you don't have to buy the 125 yards or the 300 yards, which I'm supposed to get in the mail here in a day or two. I just buy it in the bigger spools because I use so much of it. And I have said before, this is much cheaper if you buy it at a sporting goods store than if you buy it at a bead supply store. It's marked up quite a bit in the bead supply stores, so I always get mine from sporting goods stores. I've got some scissors to cut my fire line, and I've got my chain nose pliers to flatten the fire line to be able to get it through the eye of the needle. I think that's all as far as tools and things. Hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way, and I'll come back and tell you what my plan is. I'll be back. I've got some of my beads poured out here, and I've got them pushed back up here out of my way, hoping that the camera won't focus on them and will focus on me, because I think sometimes the camera focuses on the beads and it's harder to see what I'm doing. So I've got each of my colors poured out here, and then I've got some poured out here over to the side that I'm going to be use them because I don't want to be reaching across the screen in front of y'all all the time. The other day I did this. I don't have the bracelet, that particular bracelet in front of me that I did the other day, but this is flat chenille stitch that I did a bracelet on the other day. And I was talking about how when I learned how to do flat chenille, it was easier for me to think of these little boxes as flowers. And like, I've got 4 petals of my red flower with a little silver 11-0 in the center. And then 4 petals of my blue flower with a silver 11-0 in the center. And then I've got my flowers separated by silver 11-0s. And these red and blue beads are 8-0s. And it was just easier for me when I first started learning chenille stitch to do it like that. You can do it all in one color. 8-0s, you can do it. I'm going to be using 11-0s today. You can do, 3 or 4 or 5 different, whatever you want to do, any kind of pattern you want to do. I did a little checkerboard pattern, or it's also diagonal if you look at it that way. So you can do lots of different patterns. You can use different size beads. Today I'm going to be doing tubular chenille stitch, which is easier than flat chenille stitch. And I'm going to, when I get my little tube made, I'm going to put it around this bangle, take my little end off now that I know how to do that, and put it on my bangle here and have my bracelet. So I tried to, I've got my needle threaded here, and I'm not going to leave much of a tail at all, because I'm not even going to need to sew this in, because I'm going to start with ladder stitch, and I'm going to reinforce it a lot to get the first row really good and tight like I need it to be. And once I reinforce it that many times, the beads are not going to fall off and they're not going to come loose or anything. So once I get my ladder stitch row done, I'll be cutting this tail off and get it out of my way. So I'm going to try to zoom in a lot here because these beads are very tiny. And I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. And I know y'all are probably tired of seeing my big, huge hands, but I don't know how else. I tried to do this with the 8-0s, and it will work. It works fine with 8-0s if you don't want to use the bangle and you want to just sew a clasp on, or if you want to put it on the bangle. When I did it with the 8-0s, I needed, well, let me do this here first. I'm going to pick up 4 of my silver 11-0s. And I'm going to go up the first 2. Just doing ladder stitch here. I'm going to make a little ladder stitch kind of border on each end of my bracelet. So that puts 2 of my 11-0s right next to 2 of my 11-0s, and I'm going to go down these 2 and back up these 2 to reinforce. And then back down these 2. And then I'm going to do 2 more of my silver 11-0s. I'm coming out the bottom of these 2. I'm going to go in the top. And then go back up the 2 new ones that I put on. Then go back down these 2. Go back up these 2. And I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to come out the top of these 2. I'm going to go in the bottom of these 2. And then I'm going to go back down the 2 new ones I just added. Back up these 2 before them. Back down the 2 new ones I just added. Now I'm going to do this until I have 8 columns of 2 beads. I tried it with the 8-0s, and it takes about 6 columns of the 8-0s. You need an even number, and it takes 6 columns of the 8-0s to get around this bangle. And that, I just felt like that was made too big of a bracelet. It didn't look as good on the bangle as it does with the 11-0s, but you can certainly do it with 8-0s. But I'm going to end up making 8 of these little columns of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and make the rest of them off camera so you don't have to wait while I'm doing that. And then I'll be back and I'll show you how I'm going to sew them together and start the stitch. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my 8 columns of 2 seed beads each done here. And I went ahead and cut my tail off because I went through those first 2 columns a few times, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to fold this together and go through them some more, and so my beads are not going to fall off, and they're not going to be loose. So I just went ahead and cut my tail off to get out of the way. So I'm going to fold this in half like that, and I'm just going to sew these together into a tube. So I'm going to come out the top of these 2 silver beads. I'm going to go in the top of these 2, and then I'm going to go back up the bottom of these 2, and I'm going to go back down through these 2, back up these 2, just get that sewed into a circle there, into a tube. Now I'm going to put it on my crochet hook here. Now I'm coming out the top of these 2 silver 11-ohs. I'm going to pick up 1 silver 11-oh, and I'm going to go from the top of these 2 down through the top of these 2. Takes a minute to get through there because there's a lot of thread in there where I sewed through them so many times. And that sets that little single 11-oh on its side there. Now I'm going to go up these 2, and I'm going to pick up another 1 silver 11-oh, and I'm going to go down these 2. Not get hooked around my crochet hook. So that fits that one up on his side there. Well, I think I went back down the same. Yeah, I went back down I went back down the one I was coming out of. That's not what I want to do. Hold on, let me take this off, and I'll have to unthread my needle, and okay. The only way to get that out was to unthread my needle and take it out and take the bead off. I'm sorry about that, but it's hard to see these little 11-ohs when I've not got them right up here at my face like I usually do when I'm doing this. So I'm going to start over here. I've got one bead sitting on its side there. I'm coming out the top of this column of 2 silver beads. I'm going to go down the next column. What I did wrong before was I went back down this same column, and that's why it was messed up. So I'm going to these first couple of rows are going to be kind of fiddly because that's the way it just almost always is with any kind of bead weaving. Your first couple of rows are the hardest. So I'm going to pull that through. And that sets that little bead up on its side. Now I'm going to go up this next column of 2 silver 11-ohs. And pick up another silver 11-oh. And I'm going to go down the next column of 2 silver 11-ohs. Pull my thread through. That sets that one up on his side. Now I'm going to go up the next column. I'm going to pick up another silver 11-oh. And I'm going to go down the next column of 2 silver 11-ohs. And now I'm going to go back up this go up this next column, which is the column I started in on this round. And now I've got four of my silver 11-ohs sitting on their side there. So I'm going to step up by going through this silver 11-oh that's on its side. And these are going to be the silver 11-ohs that separate my flowers. So now I'm going to pick up my flower colors. So I'm going to pick up 2 pink. And I'm going to go from this silver 11-oh into this silver 11-oh. Now in this little pattern that I'm doing, I'm going to separate out my colors, my pink and purple with green. So I'm going to pick up 2 green, and I'm going to go from this silver 11-oh into this silver 11-oh. Now next I want to do my purple flower, because I already did my pink, so I want to do my purple next. So I'm going to pick up 2 purple, and I'm going to go from this silver 11-oh into this silver 11-oh. And now I want to separate my pink and purple with green, so I'm going to pick up 2 green. I'm going to go in this silver 11-oh, and to step up, I'm going to go in that first bead, the very next bead, which is the pink. Now this row is a little bit fiddly, but it will get easier after this particular row right here. I want to put a silver 11-oh in the middle of my flower. So I'm going to pick up a silver 11-oh. I'm going to go in this pink, and I'm going to skip over this silver 11-oh that's separating my flowers and go in the next green. And I'm going to hold my finger over this silver 11-oh that I'm not going through that silver 11-oh there, and I'm going to hold my finger over it because I want my thread to land on top of it so it'll pull my petals of my flowers up. Like that. See, my little pink flower petals are pulled up and away from the base. That's what I'm wanting. So now I'm going to put a silver 11-oh here in between my green beads. I'm going to go through this next green bead, pass over that silver 11-oh, and go into the purple 11-oh. I'm going to hold my finger on it so the thread will land over top of that silver 11-oh that I'm skipping and pull my petals up. And we only have to do this row. Now I'm going to pick up another silver 11-oh because I want to put it between my purple flower here. I'm going to go in the purple bead, next purple bead. I'm going to skip over that silver bead and go into the green bead. You don't have to do it all at once. If you need to do it one at a time, that's fine. But I'm going to go through the purple and the green, skipping over the silver. I'm going to hold my thumb on it so the thread will go up on top of that silver bead and pull my petals up like that. Now I need a silver bead to go between my green beads, so I'm going to pick up a 11-oh silver. I'm going to go in this green bead. I'm going to go over that silver 11-oh and go in this pink bead. I hold my thumb over it, pull my thread through, and that pulls my little green beads up there away from the base. Now I'm back around to the beginning, so to step up, I'm going to go through this silver 11-oh. You step up going through whatever your next bead in line is. Now, like with the flat chenille stitch, one row we'll be picking up our petal beads, and the next row we'll be picking up our silver 11-ohs, either the ones that go between the petals or the ones that separate out the flowers. So that time I picked up silver 11-ohs. So this time I'm going to pick up my petal beads. I need to make the top half of this pink flower I'm making and the bottom half of this green box that I'm making. I'm not sure if I'm going to call it a flower or not. I guess we can. So the top part of this pink flower and the bottom part of this green flower. So I need to pick up a pink and a green. So I'm going to pick up pink and a green. And I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 over here to this silver 11-0. Pull my thread through. Now, I've almost got my green flower made there. I've got 3 of them. I just need 1 more. So I'm going to pick up a green. And then I need to make the bottom of my purple flower. So I'm going to pick up a purple. And I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. Pull my thread through. Now I've almost got my purple flower complete. I just need 1 more purple bead to complete my purple flower. So I'm going to pick up a purple. And then I need to make the bottom of my green flower here. So I'm going to pick up a green. And I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. Now I've almost got my green flower complete. I've got 3 of them. I've almost got my pink flower complete. I've got 3 of them because I'm back around here to the beginning. So I need to pick up a green and a pink. I'm going to go in from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. And I'm going to go up this pink bead, which is the very next bead, and that's my step up. Now it's pretty easy to see where your step up is in this particular stitch. So I don't find it necessary to lay out my beads, but if you need to, that's fine. You just know that when you do your petal colors, you're going to be, in this case, I'm going to be picking up 2 pink and 2 purple every time and 4 green. Just whatever pattern you're doing. And then when you do your 11-0s, you're going to be picking up a total of 4 11-0s every time. So now I need to pick up the 11-0s that separate my flowers. So I'm pick up a silver 11-0. I'm going to go through both of these petal beads. And it's easier this time. I don't have to worry about pulling it up away from the base like I did down there at the bottom. So I'm going to go through both of those green beads, not the silver bead in the middle, just both of the green beads. I'm going to pull my thread through. And then I'm going to pick up another silver 11-0 and go through both of my purple beads here. And then I'm going to pick up a silver 11-0, go through both of these green beads here. And I'm going to pick up a silver 11-0. I'm going to go through both of these pink beads. And this is where my step up is because I'm back around here at the beginning. So when I go through this second pink bead, I'm going to go on up and go into that silver 11-0 if I can. If you can't, just do them one at a time. That's no problem. So that time we picked up silver 11-0s, this time we're going to pick up the colors of our petal beads. Now I want mine to, I'm going to make this go in a diagonal way. So I want my pink to be next, so it'll be diagonal. So I'm going to put a pink flower on top of this green flower. So I'm going to pick up 2 pink beads. Of course, you don't have to do this pattern. You can do it in a striped pattern if you want to, you know, do a whole row of green, a whole row of pink, whatever you want to do. I just want to do it in a diagonal pattern. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my pink beads. I'll go from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. Now I'm going to separate my flowers out with green. So I'm going to pick up 2 green. I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. Now I want to diagonal my flowers here. So to do with the diagonal, I need this flower on top of this green flower to be purple. So I'm going to pick up 2 purple. 3 tried to jump on my needle. Okay, now I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. And now I'm going to separate out my purple flower and my pink flower with a green. So I'm going to pick up 2 green. I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go up through that pink 11-0, which is the very next bead, and that's my step up. Okay, now I'm going to put a silver 11-0 in the center of my flowers. So I'm going to pick up a silver 11-0. I'm going to go through this pink petal bead, skip over that silver 11-0 and go in the pink or the green petal bead. I'm going to pick up a silver 11-0. I'm going to go through this green 11-0 and this purple 11-0, skipping over the silver 11-0. I'm going to pick up another silver 11-0. I'm going to go in this purple petal bead and this green petal bead, skipping over the silver 11-0. Now I'm going to pick up another silver 11-0. And I'm going to go in this green bead and this pink bead. I'm back around to the beginning now, so while I'm at it, I'm going to go up this silver 11-0 because that's my step up. So that time we picked up all silver 11-0s. This time we're going to pick up the colors of our flowers. So I need to make the top of this pink flower and the bottom of this green flower. So I need to pick up a pink and a green. Pick up a pink and a green. Go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. Now I've almost got my green flower complete. I only need one more. And I need to make the bottom of my purple flower. So I'm going to pick up a green and a purple. I'm going to go from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. I've almost got my purple flower complete. I have 3 of them, so I just need one more purple, and I need to make the bottom of that green flower. So I'm going to pick up a purple and a green. I'm going to go from the top of this, or from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. Now I've almost got my green flower complete. I've got 3 of them. And I've almost got my pink flower complete. I've got 3 of them because I'm back around here at the beginning. So I need to pick up a green and a pink. Go from this silver 11-0 into this silver 11-0. And while I'm at it, up through that pink bead to step up. And now I'm going to go around and put silver 11-0s between my flowers. And then I'm just going to continue on. And when I get to the point where I need to add thread, I'll come back and show you how I'm going to add thread. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got this much of my little bracelet done here. And I need to add thread. So first I'm going to sew this old thread in. And sometimes I leave my old thread in so that I'll know where I'm coming out. But I know I need to be coming out any of these. I'm coming out this silver 11-0 here, and any of these will be fine. So I'm just going to sew back through my project. Just go through a few beads. This is so tightly woven, I probably could do it like I do peyote and just go back through and cross my thread over a few times and not even tie half-hitch knots, but I'm going to tie a few. So I'm going to go under this thread bridge here. Go up through my loop. Pull my thread down slowly. Go up through this silver bead and a couple more beads. Find another thread bridge here. really tight in here. Guess I'll go through another bead and see if I can get a hold of a thread bridge easier. Okay, now I'm going to come up through my loop, pull my thread down slowly so it lands between the beads, go up through a few more beads. See if I can find a thread bridge under here. Go through my loop, pull my thread down slowly, go through a few more beads, and now I'm going to cut off my thread. And I've got a needle threaded here with a new thread, and I've got a stop bead and about a 6-inch tail, just enough to sew in. And I'm just going to come down here anywhere and put my needle in. Pull my thread through till my stop bead stops it. And now I'm just going to go up a couple of beads just to get away from my stop bead. And I'm going to try to find another thread bridge here I'm going to tie a 1/2-inch knot to anchor my thread in before I go up here and start to continue on with my stitch. I'm going to go through my loop. Pull my thread down slowly so it lands between the beads. And now I'm just going to sew up through until I get up there where I'm coming out one of those silver beads. Just sewing through beads and making sure not to cross over any beads because I don't want to show any thread. So now I'm coming out this silver bead here so I can continue on with my stitch. So I'm at the point where I just put in my silver bead, so I need to pick up my petal beads, and I need to make the half of this pink flower and half of this green flower. So I'm going to pick up a pink and a green, go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. I need to make the rest of that green. I've got 3 of them. I need 1 more, so I'm going to pick up a green. I need to make the other half of this purple flower, so I'm going to pick up a purple. Go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. Now I've almost got the purple flower done. I just need 1 more, so I'm going to pick up a purple. And then I need to make the bottom of this green, so I'm going to pick up a green. Go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. Now I've almost got that green flower complete. I just need 1 more, and I've almost got that pink flower complete because I'm back around to the beginning. So I need to pick up a green and a pink. I need to go from this silver 11-0 to this silver 11-0. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go up and come out that pink 11-0 because that's my step up. And now next I'll put silver beads between all my flowers. And then I'll come back here and take this stop bead off and sew this thread in, making 3 1/2-inch knots, just like I did when I sewed my old thread in. So when I get to the end of my bracelet, I'll be back and show you how I'm going to end it off. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got the length now that I need to go around my little bangle. And I need to make this end, this little border on this side. And I'm right at 6 1/4 inches here. So now I'm going to make my little border to match this first side. So I'm coming out here, I've added the little silver 11-0s to separate my flowers. And that's where you want to be when you do this little border that I'm going to do. So I'm going to pick up 2 of my silver 11-0s. And I'm coming out this silver 11-0 here. I'm just going to go in the other side of it. And that's going to put those 2 little 11-0s on top of that silver 11-0. It kind of looks like a little T. Now, these are loose because I'm putting 2 beads on top of 1 bead, so I'm going to reinforce them. So I'm going to go back up this one. Back down this one. And back across the base of my little T I've made here. So that's one little sort of looks like a T that I've made there. And I'm going to make 4 of them to go on each one of my little silver beads that's separating out my flowers. And I need to get over here to this silver 11-0, but I don't want to go straight across because I'll show thread. So I'm going to go through this pink bead. And this pink bead. And up through that silver bead. Now I'm just going to pick up 2 more silver 11-0s and coming out this side of the silver bead, I'm going to go around and go on the other side. Just circle around that bead and make a little kind of what looks like a little T on the top on that with that bead. So now I'm going to reinforce. So I'm going to go back up this silver bead, back down the one on the right here, back through my base silver bead. Make sure not to get caught around anything. And now I want to get over to this silver bead, so I'm going to sew through this green. And I'll sew through this green. And up through that silver bead. Now I'll pick up 2 more silver beads. Coming out the top of this silver bead, I'm going to go in the bottom. Just circle around it. Make my little T there. Now I'm going to just reinforce it. I'm going to go up this silver bead, Back down this silver bead. Back across the base silver bead. Now I just need to get over to one more of my silver beads. So I'm going to go through this purple and go through this purple. And I can't seem to get through that silver bead at the same time this time, so I'm just going to do them one at a time. Now I'm going to go across that silver bead. Now I'm going to pick up two more silver beads. Coming out the top of this silver bead, I'm going to go in the bottom, circle around it. Now I'm going to reinforce this one, so I'm going to go back up this left silver bead, come back down the right one, come back across the base one. Now I need to get up here to the top of my little T that I made, so I'm going to go back up this silver bead. So now I've got 4 little T's there, 2 beads at the top of each. So now I'm going to pick up 2 of my silver 11-ohs. I'm going to go down, I'm going to go from the top of this silver 11-oh into the top of this silver 11-oh. Now I'm going to go across my base because I want to reinforce this too. So I'm going to go across my base silver bead. I'm going to go up. Go up these 2 silver beads. Back down these 2 silver beads. Now I'm going to go over here to my next little T, and I'm going to go up this left silver bead. I'm going to pick up 2 more 11-ohs. Go from the top of this left silver bead to the top of this right silver bead. Make my beads sit with their holes facing up. Now I'm going to go across my base silver bead. Go back up these 2 silver beads. And back down these 2 silver beads. Now I'm going to go over here to my next little T that I made. And I'm going to go up the left silver bead. Pick up 2 more 11-oh silver beads. Go from the top of the left one down into the top of the right one. Well, dropped it out of my hand. Pull my thread through, make sure my beads are sitting with their holes facing up. Now I'm going to go across this base bead again. I'm going to go up these 2 silver beads on the left and back down the 2 silver beads on the right. to go over here to my next little T that I made. And I'm going to go up the left silver bead. Pick up 2 more 11-ohs. Go from the top of the left one down the top of the right one. Pull my thread through. Make my beads sit with their holes facing up. Now I'm going to go across my base bead. Go back up these 2 silver beads on the left. Now I've got four little towers here, but they're not connected. So I just need to connect them. So I'm going to go from the top of these 2 silver beads right here down into these 2 silver beads. Just sew them together, and then I'm going to go back up these 2 I started in and back down these 2. Now I'm going to go across my base silver bead again. I hit the camera. I'm going to go back up these 2 silver beads. I need to sew this column to this column. So I'm going to go from these 2 silver beads down into these 2 silver beads. Back up these 2 that I started in. Back down these 2. Across my base silver bead. And come up this left column of silver beads. Now I need to sew these 2 columns together. So I'm coming out the top of these 2 silver beads. I'm going to go down these 2 silver beads. I'll back up the first 2 silver beads that I started in. Back down these 2 silver beads. Across my base bead. And up these 2 silver beads on the left. Now I've got all my columns sewed together except these last 2. So I'm going to go from the top of these 2 silver beads down into these 2 silver beads. I'm going to go back up the 2 silver beads I started in. And back down these 2 silver beads. So now I've got all my little columns sewed together there. So now I'm going to go across my base bead here. And then I'm going to sew down here into my project and tie 3 half-inch knots. I'm going to go through this pink bead. Go into this silver bead, go into this pink bead, I'm going to get a hold of a thread bridge here. I'll go through my loop, bring my thread down slowly. Now I'm going to sew through a couple more beads. I'm going to sew through this silver one and this pink one. Purple one. And I'm going to get hold of a thread bridge here. Come up through my loop. Make sure I'm not getting caught around my bracelet. Pull my thread down slowly. Now I'm going to go up through a few more beads. Get a thread bridge here. Go through my loop. Pull my thread down slowly. Now I'm just going to sew through a couple more beads and then cut my thread off. And I'm going to take my little bangle here. Zoom out some now. I'm just going to thread it on my bangle. I'm going to take my little end of my little bangle here and just screw it on. There we go. There's my little bracelet. So let me get some of my beads out of the way and I'll come back and show you a couple of others I did. Hold on. Okay, here's my little bangle that I made on camera here. This one I used 3 different colors. I used pink, purple, and green. And of course this little silver beads that are separating them out and making the little centers of my flowers. And I had such a time trying to figure out what I wanted to do. If I want to do 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, I couldn't figure it out. So I just decided to do a few. So this is the one I did on camera. And then I did this one, and it's 2 colors. It's red and blue with the, well, I guess it's 3 colors because it's red and blue and it's got the silver in there. And then I did 4 colors. Well, 5, I guess, counting the little silver one that's in there. So this one's got blue, yellow, purple, and pink. So this has taken several days because I couldn't decide which I wanted to do. So I just ended up doing 3 of them. So here, let me zoom out some here so you can see them better all together. I'm not sure which I like best. If I like the 2 or the 3 or the 4. So you all will have to tell me which one you like best out of all these. If you like the 2 colors or the 3 colors or the 4 colors, or maybe you don't like any of them. I hope you don't. I hope you like some of them, at least one of them. And if you all decide you want to buy these little bangles or anything else from Beebeecraft, if you use that coupon code, it'll save you 10% off your order. As always, thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope you all have a great day. Take care.
you.